G'day, What Culture? My name is Simon Miller, and that's right, we just had a WWE pay-per-view in Australia, so today I'm going to be Australian, although I'm not because I lose the accent. I'm already losing the accent, and if you have been offended by this, I apologise. I did not meant to offend you, but I just watched 4 hours of Australian WWE pay-per-view TV, and I thought I'd come on here, and I started. It's gone. It's gone. But it's done. It's over. It's finished. WWE Showdown is in the books. I'm going to tell you this. The best thing about it, and literally the golden up, do it right now. The counters aren't even there, but it is going to be the golden up, is that over here in the UK, it started at 10 a.m. So I got to leisurely get up this morning and watch a WWE event. Do you know usually what I have to do for the last 20 years? Watch it at like 1 a.m. in the morning. What do I look like? Someone who doesn't sleep? I don't sleep. That's true. Anyway, I watch wrestling so you don't have to. Let's up those downs. We did kick things off between the New Day and the Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And it's pretty much every single tag team match you've ever saw. But because it did start the show, it was exciting. And also that face Biggie pulls when he's throwing pancakes out to the crowd, that makes me laugh. Getting up. It was just a way to get the crowd pumped for two teams that they're familiar with, but there were some pretty cool spots within this. At one point, Cesaro and Sheamus caught Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and slammed them into the ring post, and we even saw a big swing from the Swiss Superman, and then he just put on that clover leaf or sharpshooter or whatever he does. The finish was nice as well. Xavier smashed a backstabber onto Cesaro, and then Kofi Kingston was on the top rope. He hit the double foot stomp and the pretty brutal 1, 2, 3. The New Day retained their championships, and if you were watching WWE Super Show-Down to see some title changes, you idiot. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte was next, and guess what? Yeah, no. It was at this point I realised the ramp was so big that we had to cut entrances short because Charlotte barely made it to the ring, and all of a sudden Becky Lynch's music was playing instead. But you know what? Because of that, it did have a WrestleMania feel. Don't get me wrong. These weren't WrestleMania matches, or at least WrestleMania outcomes, but whatever. The video packages, I don't know, they just felt better on this show. Don't know why? You tell me in the comments. Also turned out that it doesn't matter where we are across this thing we known as planet Earth, Becky Lynch will get cheered. And to be fair, Charlotte wasn't booed, but everybody damn well wanted to see Lynch walk away with her title, which she did, but only under dodgy knees. The match itself is what you'd expect, but these two are really damn talented, so you can't get too mad at it. Becky Lynch kept working on Charlotte's arm because she wanted to lock in that disarmer. Charlotte was too powerful, so it was like technical versus the power. Nice little wrestling classic for you there. So it was all well and good until we got to the finish. And we can't make any bones about it anymore. You can't be confused. You can't go on the internet and go, well, I think this is happening. It's obvious. It's clear. It's direct down the line. Because it's direct down the line, get it down. Why? Because WWE is officially booking Becky Lynch as a heel. At one point, she just left the ring. She grabbed her title and she went to walk out. And also, when Charlotte had her locked in the figure of 8, she saw her championship belt again, she grabbed it, and she twonked her on the head. So she cheated to keep her gold. And between you and me, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he would have never have done that. And if he did, he wouldn't have done like this. This was different, so don't at me. Flair tried to beat her up afterwards, but Lynch got the upper hand and absolutely wrecked her. And everybody was still chanting for Becky when all was said and done. So we are officially reverse Roman Reigning this. That's what I'm calling it. It's the reverse Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Elias then played AC/DC's Thunderstruck, because you know they're an Australian band, on an acoustic guitar. It was the highlight of the show, maybe throughout the entire evening. Kevin Owens was looking on like he was in love with Elias. Let's get to know. The two did their usual stick, but honestly, they just work so well together. Kevin Owens was mad because Super Showdown wasn't in Canada, and Elias went back to all his sports jives, as is now his thing. And really, this could have been all 4 hours of Super Showdown, and I would have been alright with this. That didn't happen though, as Bobby Lashley's music interrupted all of this, although he came out with that Leo Rush, and that's been the best part of Raw for the last few weeks. And of course, that meant it was also time for the returning John Cena. I tell you what as well, I did just quite enjoy seeing John Cena back on WWE TV. I know I'm a jackass and I should be dead in a pond somewhere just floating down a little riverbed, but he feels like a star, and I enjoy it when stars come back to World Wrestling Entertainment. Although, when he did come out, I realised, oh good, John Cena is slowly morphing into Mark Wahlberg. And the one thing I've always thought was missing from WWE was Mark Wahlberg. You don't know I'm being facetious, I'm being sarcastic, but John Cena did look a little bit like a dad about to take his kids to soccer practice, because we know John Cena, he don't want no kids. Let's not talk about it. As for the scrap itself, well, I guess it was just fine. The layout was nice and simple. Bobby Lashley kept getting beaten up by Kevin Owens and Elias, and at one point, Bobby Lashley went to hit Elias, who was on the apron. Elias moved, and Lashley just hurled himself into the floor. It was ludicrous. Cena did eventually get in after being teased for ages, and that's where everything fell apart, and also where it gets a damn down. I would say that he was in there for 2 minutes max. He hit Elias with a 5-knuckle shuffle, he hit Elias with the attitude adjustment, and then he hit his new 6th move of doom, which is just a punch to the face, and he pinned the former Drifter as if the former Drifter hadn't been the star of wrestling for the last few weeks. I'm not going to get too mad at that punch because we all used to cheer The Rock winning matches by doing a stinking elbow drop, but why are we chopping Elias out like this? Why are we making Elias a massive geek? Stupid. Afterwards, Cena cut a promo which also made it sound like he may be considering retiring, or at least he didn't know what his future held, but it came across as very genuine. The crowd liked it. I got a little kick out of it as well. So Cena, you won me back because you're getting it up with your new weird side part haircut. Iconics popped out after this, and I don't know what to give it, because the problem with the Iconics is they're really annoying, but they're meant to be really annoying. So they're doing their job, and they're doing it well, because I sat there, and I was really annoyed. I guess I'll just give it an up. Mainly because the match that followed was getting it down. It was Peyton Royce and Billie Kay taking on Asuka and Naomi, and Corey Graves summed it up best on commentary, where he said, "I think I preferred it when Asuka was just kicking people in the head as opposed to dancing." I agree, Mr. Corey. I agree. The Iconics won after they hit a big knee to Naomi's face. And what was nice is that WWE actually booked hometown talent to win in their hometown. So that can get 2 thumbs, but no up, because I ain't feeling generous today. Then it was AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, and I tell you, I don't think in the history of me watching wrestling I've ever wanted anybody to win a WWE Championship as much as I was hoping Samoa Joe did here. I could feel it in my heart. I could hear my heart talking to me right in the back going, "Simon, I really want Samoa Joe to win." I was like, "Heart, I know. But have a guess. Do you think it happened? Do you? We just needed to cement his dastardly actions with a win, backing it up in the ring. However, before I get to my little issues with this, the match itself was freaking awesome, and that is going to get up. The two kicked the crap out of each other, and it was just one wonderful spot after another wonderful spot. At one point, Samoa Joe even caught AJ Styles out midair, and he kind of did a modified muscle buster. I mean, it wasn't. We're never going to see that move again, but it still had one hell of an impact, and I liked it. There was a bunch of shenanigans with chairs and tables because it was a no DQ match, and after Samoa Joe went through said table, he started going, "Oh no, my knee. Something popped in my knee." Storytelling. That made it sound like I thought his knee was saying to him storytelling. I don't mean that. I mean, Samoa Joe was saying to the ref about his knee, and then, that's the storytelling I'm giving you. Just forget about it. Let's move on. And that's when things got even more interesting, because AJ Styles kind of went pseudo-heel here, but it made sense, and I like it when things make sense. Even though Samoa Joe was injured, AJ targeted that knee because his opponent had been going after his family. You don't go after a man's family unless you're ready to deal with the repercussions. The ending sequence was preposterous as well. There was a reversal off the O'Connor roll. We saw some callbacks to Hell in a Cell before absolutely depressingly Samoa Joe tapped out to the calf crusher. And I'm sorry, I got to do it because I'm biased. I told you how excited I was for this a few minutes ago. It's getting it down. And it also kind of summed up to me that if you did want to look at WWE Super Showdown and call it a glorified house show, which was just a little bit, but I'll talk about that in 1 second, you could. And the fact that Samoa Joe didn't win the WWE Championship here, I think underlined that a little bit. But I find it hard to criticize that though, because a few years ago, this wouldn't even have been an event we'd been able to watch. And the only reason we had it come into our lives was because of the internet and the WWE networks. We can't go, "Oh, we want more," and then get more and go bullshit to the more. We've got to find balance, but yes, I can understand if you upset. I was upset too. Samoa Joe should be WWE Champion, and now I think this feud is ended. Because what can he do? He lost, clear and simple. It was almost like WWE don't care about my feelings. That made me really sad. The Riot Squad versus the Bella Twins and Ronda Rousey was next. And while there was just a little bit of teasing at the start of the match that maybe Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella was going to fall out, they couldn't decide who should start, absolutely nothing else happened here. Down. It was just another big build to get the hot tag to the most over babyface, who here was Ronda Rousey. She got in, she beat people up for a while, and eventually made Morgan and Logan tap out with a double armbar. Don't get me wrong, that was cool, but it was also the only thing that actually happened in this match. Or the only thing I remember, because my brain took the rest of it and went pop, and it threw it away because it was needless. I don't need to restore needless information. And like I say, there was nothing else between Nikki and Ronda, so maybe soon, or maybe not soon at all, we've all been lied to by rumours that were probably made up by some dude in his basement. Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship followed, And given that WWE actually allowed these two people to act like cruiserweights, and Buddy Murphy was in his hometown, so the crowd was really behind it, there was a Michinoku driver off the top rope, flips, dives, flatliners, Spanish flies, and also Cedric Alexandra actually acknowledged the crowd when they started to boo him. And that was good. We never do that in WWE. We stick to the story like as if we can't break it. It sucks. Well done, Cedric. You changed the structure here, and it tied into the match, and it made me believe. And I like to believe. Santa Claus, he's real. The coolest moment is when Murphy kicked out of the lumbar check, and I'll tell you why it was so good. Two reasons. One, the hometown crowd went mental, as you'd expect, but also two, I didn't see it coming. The near fall was perfect, and it basically dialed everybody into this match. This intensified when Buddy hit the pump handle driver to win the Cruiserweight Championship. And for 1 second, for one instance, I was like, you know, I don't care what else happened on this damn thing, because it was just nice. It made me happy. The man deserves it. And it was also shocking because for the second time in one evening, WWE let the hometown person win. I mean, they actually never do that. Usually, they take sort of pride and they take glee in getting the hometown person to lose. This should work well. If you've never watched 205 Live, this was a great showcase of it. So in short, go and watch 205 Live. It's on Wednesdays now. Well, you all love Wednesday. It's right in the middle of the week. So I found this satisfying. Yeah, just really, really satisfying. Like a nice cup of tea on a Sunday. And it was Saturday. Shield time now, who were of course going against Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. And apparently Australia must smell because Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins came out wearing gas masks, and I have absolutely no idea why. It did make them look like Mortal Kombat characters though, and I like Mortal Kombat. That's a really good video game. The real problem here was I realised I actually have no interest in seeing them fight. I don't care about the feud. I like all the stuff with Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler and the teasing, but he had no payoff here anyway, and I think it's all said and done. So yeah, you guessed it, down. It started with fire as the Shield just absolutely laid waste to their opponents, but once again, it was a tag match on WWE Super Showdown, so within minutes, Seth Rollins was the isolated babyface, and we were just waiting for yet another hot tag. Honestly, all these tag matches, they kind of felt the same. The turning point came when, for some reason, Braun Strowman climbed to the top rope, apparently to smash some kind of knee into Rollins' face, and he moved out of the way. Can you imagine, like Jim Cornette or any veterans around the world, where they saw Braun Strowman, 6'10" or whatever he is, Braun Strowman, climbing to the top rope? One of them, I bet, had an aneurysm. It did allow Seth to tag in Dean Ambrose, though. Guess who he was squaring off against in the ring? That's right, Dolph Ziggler. So like, here we go. All the bits of the puzzle are in place, and then especially Roman Reigns went to hit a Superman punch. He missed, and he hit Dean instead. So I was like, right, let's do it. Give me the ending to the story that I've invested in over the last few weeks. Quick side note too, in case you're interested. Yes, even though we're thousands of miles across the other side of the world, Roman Reigns still getting booed. And I started booing too, because as Strowman, Ziggler and McIntyre started to surround the ring with the Shield inside of it, or at least 2/3 of the Shield, Dean Ambrose, he recovered from his Superman punch, and he started to get on the apron as well. And it looked as if almost they were now a 4, and the Shield was 2. And I was like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. The thing I just said 30 seconds ago, I'm saying again now. Come on, Dean, go on, Phil, do it. Make Super Showdown more than the sum of its parts. But he didn't. He just got in the ring, and he helped Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins beat up the bad guys. And eventually, he hit the dirty deeds onto Ziggler, and he hugged his brothers. So I guess that was the end of that. And more for me for being excited about a WWE story. Hit the 3-hour mark at this point, as I realise we're never going to get a pay-per-view that tops out of that mark again, so that can get it down. However, it was time for The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, and I love that program. That gets it up. Began with a bang as Bryan interrupted a Miz promo, and that pissed the Miz off, so as soon as Daniel got in the ring, he was all over him like a rat. Daniel Bryan didn't even have time to take his top off. Miz did all of Bryan's moves, got a couple of pins, and then bam, everything just changed. Miz went for the skull-crushing finale, Bryan reversed that into a cradle, and he won 1, 2, 3, and this literally went about, I don't know, 2 minutes, maybe less, maybe 90 seconds. You'd have to think that at this point someone backstage at WWE and gone, oh no, we're running too long, we've got to cut someone's match, we'll cut Daniel Bryan The Miz, because that's not the case, and I don't know for sure, I'm just guessing. This was bizarre. Now I am happy it's going to be AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship, because that's like a dream match, so that's getting up. But it was ruined almost seconds later when it was announced on WWE Super Showdown that contest will take place at WWE Crown Jewel. And if that event is anything like this event, we absolutely already know that no championship is going to change hands. And again, that breaks me as a human being. I want to see this as the proper feud, not just some throwaway thing in Saudi Arabia. So because I'm worried and a little bit wound up, that's going to get it down too. What a crazy show this was. Main event time finally, and it's hard not to like this. What can I say? I'm a sucker for Attitude Era stars, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and I bought into the whole, oh, last time one-on-one, can't believe it, never gonna happen again. Even though I knew it was a load of crap. Of course it was a load of crap, but still, it's getting up. The order of arrival went like this, in case you're interested. Shawn Michaels was first, then Triple H, who for some reason came out as if he was a skeleton, then Kane, then The Undertaker, who still has the best entrance probably in WWE history. As for the match itself, well, it was just Triple H versus The Undertaker. They took a few shortcuts by brawling out into the crowd, and there was chairs and tables. In fact, at one point, the camera cut to Shawn Michaels setting up a table at ringside, and everybody else looked so confused. It was almost as if Shawn had just gone, man, I'm going to set up a table, even though it wasn't part of the plan, I just want to do it. And I'm sure Michael will do whatever I want. That table then became the point of contention for a while, including at one point when Triple H was lying on it, and The Undertaker teased as if he was going to go to the top rope, I don't know, splash him through that. You can't do that, Undertaker. I mean, I respect you, and I love you, and I think you have an incredible career, but you would have died. Eventually transpired that setup was for Triple H to give Kane an elbow drop through the table. And throughout all of this, Shawn Michaels was getting involved too. Undertaker kept taking pops in and punching him in the face because they don't like each other. After Triple H kicked out of a chokeslam though, The Undertaker just beat up the ref, mostly so Shawn Michaels could get in the ring and interfere properly, because story, who cares about that? That was just nice and easy. Who cares about that? He's just gonna do it. Why? I don't know why. I'm the white guy. There was a bunch of nonsense with chairs and sledgehammers and Hell's Gates and all this for a little while. A small part of me was like, maybe we could have given The Miz and Daniel Bryan a bit more time and taken just a little bit of time off of this, because maybe it did go a little bit too long. But we'll just cut to the finish so I can save you some time. Everybody was involved at this point, and yes, with the ref down, Shawn Michaels' sweet chin music, The Undertaker, that allowed Triple H to pedigree him. 1, 2, 3. Triple H wins the last ever encounter between the dead man and the game. There was some kind of respect angle afterwards, which gave me the fear, because it looked like at one point The Undertaker and Kane were just going to shake Shawn Michaels and Triple H's hand and be done with it. Do you know how mad I would have been? I would have exploded, because who would do that? Who would get beaten up with like tables and weapons and screw jobs and Shawn Michaels get in the ring and go, yeah, we don't care, shake hands, ooh, we love this. That didn't happen because the Brother Destruction kicked the shit out of them, including choke slamming HBK through a table. And you know what that means? You know it, I know it, we all know it. We'll see you in Saudi Arabia. And that was it. That was the end. That was WWE Super Showdown. And again, I completely understand if you watched it and went, nothing happened there. None of the matches felt important. It almost felt like, yes, a glorified house show. But again, what do you want from me? It was 10 a.m. in the morning here. I got to wake up and watch a WWE event. And sometimes it's the small things that make all the difference. I had a good time. You may have also noticed that we've got to this point in the video and I haven't given a brown down, but don't worry, I'm gonna give it now. Slam that brown down on simply for the amount of wrestlers that missed this event. No Finn Balor, no Rusev, no Bobby Roode, no Jinder Mahal, no Sasha Banks, no Bayley. I could go on and on as well, and I get it. You can only fit so many people onto these things, but I have to give a brown down to something. I'm giving a brown down for that. Tip my imagination. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about WWE Super Showdown. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles, and follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you for joining me today for a very special episode of Ups and Downs. Maybe you haven't even watched WWE Super Showdown yet, and if you haven't, I just say this: don't watch all 4 hours. It was a little bit long, like most of these 4-hour pay-per-views are. See you soon.